Do you need to master your tracks when you're going to get involved in the TV film sync licensing industry? I say absolutely. Yes, you definitely should learn how to master your tracks. I got an email from one of my students who said, "Hey, Jesse, I got some advice. Somebody told me that you really don't have to master your tracks in this business because a lot of times libraries will master them for you, or when you send them off to, let's say, an ad agency or a supervisor, a lot of times they'll have their audio editor or even a video editor do the final touches on your music before it goes to broadcast. So it's kind of redundant for us as producers to have to master our tracks. So do I even have to really worry about it? So there's one thing that this producer or this question got right, and or this subscriber got right, and that is that yes, there are some libraries out there that will tell you when they accept tracks from you, just give us your unmastered stems so that we can master them because they have maybe their standard quality that they want to make sure that they hit in their catalog. So I know quite a few libraries. In fact, one of the major libraries that I worked with earlier on in my career operated like this. That basically they not only mastered, but they also mixed my tracks. That's because I was really bad at it at the beginning. So I don't know if they were doing that for all producers, but luckily they gave me a shot and helped me out a bit. But so some libraries will tell you, hey, do not throw any mastering plugins on there, or maybe they'll say just throw a limiter on there or something like that, but don't go crazy with mastering. We want to take care of the mastering process ourselves. And if you work with a library like that, it certainly does take one of your to-do things off your list, right? So that's not something that you have to necessarily worry about. That doesn't mean, though, that you send them music that doesn't sound finished, okay? So you don't want to send them something that you don't think sounds great just assuming, oh, they'll take care of it. Like they'll master that and make it sound really good. Bad mindset, really bad mindset, because nobody cares about your music as much as you do. So if you care about your music sounding the best and really attracting the most amount of clients with this library you're working with, make sure that your unmastered track that you've just mixed and not mastered yet sounds great. It almost sounds like it's been mastered, so that if they add any additional touches to it, it just enhances what you've already done. Okay, so that's the first thing to make sure you're aware. But here's the problem with taking that advice about just whatever, I don't worry about mastering because somebody else will probably do it for me. Not all libraries do. Okay, and now that I've been in the industry 11 years, more libraries than not have required me to send them finally mixed, obviously produced, mixed and mastered tracks. They don't have time, the energy, the resources to be mixing, mastering tracks that they accept from the dozens of composers that they're working with. So as I progress more into this industry and I've gotten better and better in my craft, I have been partnering with libraries that are not looking for unmastered stems so much anymore. That's been my experience. So here's the problem for you moving forward. Let's say you're kind of new to the industry and you're not working with any libraries yet. If you right now on day one go, okay, don't worry about mastering. You don't got to worry about that because somebody else will take care of that. Are you sure that the library you partner with in the future will not require you to master? You're not sure of that, are you? Right? Because you don't know who you're going to be working with. You asked me in 2008, which library are you going to be working with in 2016? Couldn't tell you. I had no idea some of these libraries existed until I got into the industry further, and through the word of mouth and my own research, found new companies to work with. And every library has their own way of doing things, so you don't know actually what's going to be required of you in future relationships. So here's your problem if you don't learn how to master your tracks right now, right in the beginning. Okay, you go just now. Let's flip it, right? Put your little music library hat on. Pretend you're now a music library. Okay, you're not a composer, you're not a producer. You own a music library, and you are getting music from producers. Okay, you get two producers. One of them goes, "Hey, here's all my tracks. They're not mastered, but you guys take care of that, right?" And here's the second one. Here's my fully mixed and mastered tracks ready to go. Who do you want to work with, right? Maybe they do the mastering themselves, but then when they hear this producer's tracks and they're high quality and they're at the standard of that current library's catalog, it's less work for them. You're a dream client for them. You're a dream composer for them. You've done all of their work for them. Big bonus. This is the service industry mindset that I'm talking about. You make their lives so much easier when you've taken care of a big chunk of what their workload used to have to be. This goes for metadata as well. A lot of libraries want to handle their own metadata. They'll say, hey, send us your tracks. We'll take care of that because they have a very specific way. But you can also offer, like, hey, I would like to help out with the metadata. Maybe I'll do the sort of rough draft first version of the metadata, send it off to you. You guys can kind of make sure I got it right and make any adjustments you need to. This is the kind of stuff that makes you way more attractive to a library. What doesn't make you attractive to a library is to go, you guys take care of it. There you go. There's my unmastered stuff. Have fun. And no, I'm not going to help out with any of the metadata. That's what you guys do. Do you see the sort of, even though that's not your attitude, I know that's not what you're thinking, that might be how they're perceiving you, that you're not putting in your full best effort here and you're just kind of pushing it off to them. So starting today, get good and get better at mastering your tracks. Study it, learn how to do it, experiment with new plugins, try new things. And once you find something that really works with a particular style or sound that you have, create a preset, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you do a new track. You can basically preload all the plugins, the mastering plugins that you found that are really great for your sound and your style. Make those adjustments as needed per track. You probably will need to go make some EQ adjustments, maybe some compression, differences. You don't necessarily want to do a plug and play where nothing gets changed. You do need to have some a little bit of customization per track, but especially if you're going to be making a lot of tracks really quickly, mastering is not, I don't subscribe to this thing where it's like, well, no, in order to really master your tracks, you have to go spend $500 and you have to go to a mastering studio and you have to get it done professionally by somebody who's been doing it for 20 years. And I get it, okay? I understand that there is an art and there's a craft to the science and the art of mastering. We're talking about TV film music licensing in this video, and you don't have the budget to do that, right? You have $500 or even $100 per track to send off to somebody to master for you. You probably don't, okay? Not a good thing. You're not gonna have that kind of income to be able to do that, and why do something like that when it's something that you can so easily, well, it's not easy, but it's so achievably possible for you to start getting better at and do for yourself and become self-empowered, okay? To be self-contained and not have to shell out money for even online algorithm services that promise to master your tracks. Some of them do okay, but I've also heard just as many people saying that their tracks sounded worse after going to some of these things. Maybe they'll get better in the future, but I do 100% believe practice your craft. Get really great at your craft. Start getting in the habit of mastering every one of your tracks. Even if a library says, we'll take care of the mastering for you, you still want to approach them with this mindset of, I want to have my tracks fully ready to be presented as they are. So even if this library says that they master tracks, I want them to get my stems and get everything and go, damn, this is just great. We don't actually have to do much to this. This is how you're going to get into the inner circle of these music libraries. You're making their lives easier. Any music library owner watching this video will agree with me 100% on this. You're making their lives easier. You're doing basically their work for them, and who doesn't love to have somebody else do their job for them? It's wonderful. It makes your life easier, right? And it just makes you a much more attractive client and an attractive producer to work with. So this is why I say, yeah, no, don't just put off mastering and assume somebody else will fix it for you later on. Things will get adjusted. There will be things that get changed. And 100% of the time, when you get a TV placement, they're going to cut things out. They're going to fade your track quickly. They're going to jam two parts together that weren't together in your original mix. Whatever. There's very little chance they're going to play start to finish and place your track in a TV show in the background or foreground. 99.9% of the time, your track is getting chopped and screwed and put in all kind of different areas and sort of distorted in so many different ways. Not in a bad way, obviously. Just manipulated is a better word, right? So just be aware that that's going to be definitely happening. But I hope this sort of puts an end to some of that question. Maybe you guys had that question, if it's really worth spending a time and investing and learning how to do it. 1000%. Yes, you should be doing that to make sure that you are a very attractive client. So thank you guys so much. Leave your comments below. Do you disagree? Do you think this is all garbage, BS? Do you not see the same perspective that I do? I really want to see what you guys think. So please comment below. I love it. Thank you.